Well, Liberal voters, y'all should be hanging your heads in shame because we now have proof that all of this anti-Trump rhetoric that Mark Carney was spewing during the election and even before the election was all staged, and Trump was in on it. He was helping Carney get elected. So y'all were duped, and now all of us Canadians, well, we're all screwed. Welcome to my channel, y'all. I hope you're having a great day. Well, remember when Mark Carney said that our relationship as we knew it with the United States was over? How it's changed forever? Well, in case you forgot, have a look at this.
The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperations, is over. It's my solemn promise that when President Trump threatens us again, we will fight back. We will fight back with everything we have to get the best deal for Canada. We will build an independent future for our country stronger than ever.
Well, Conservatives knew better, but the Liberal voters, they seem to lap all that stuff up like a dog. They bought into the rhetoric that Pierre Poilievre was the mini-Trump when really Mark Carney was. Mark Carney was in cahoots with Trump all along. And we have the receipts. We have a National Post article that goes into detail what was discussed in some of those conversations that Mark had with Donald Trump just prior to the election. I will link the entire article below, but let's go and see a little bit of what was said in that article. In Carney and Trump's first phone call, the Canadian leader reportedly told Trump that he would be talking tough against the U.S. as a campaign tactic. Although an official Canadian description of the call said it was a very constructive conversation about the relationship between the two countries. In the final week of the campaign, a source told the National Post that this description omitted Carney's praise of Trump as a transformative leader, and the Canadian leader's heads up that his campaign rhetoric would necessarily need to be anti-Trump. So as you can see, this strategy was all concocted by Mark Carney. He brought Trump on board by telling him ahead of time that he was going to do this. And this played right into Trump's ego. He likes to be part of the inside deal, to be part of the scheme, as it were. And he thought it was great. And they also know each other from past dealings, and that's been covered quite a bit on other channels, so I won't go into it here. And then, of course, Trump takes credit for getting Carney elected.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's a great honor to have Prime Minister Mark Carney with us. As you know, just a few days ago, he won a very big election in Canada. And I think I was probably the greatest thing that happened to him, but I can't take full credit. His party was losing by a lot, and he ended up winning. So I really want to congratulate him. It was probably one of the greatest comebacks in the history of politics, maybe even greater than mine.
So Trump's a really smart guy, and I know that a lot of liberals will disagree with that because they just don't like them. They have Trump derangement syndrome, which is really too bad because they're missing out on a lot of what really goes on. Now, Trump always has a plan. He may not have all of the fine details worked out, but he always has a plan. And because he goes off on little side tangents when he's talking, he does keep all of the reporters and all of his opponents on their toes. And that's what this 51st state rhetoric is all about. Trump doesn't want Canada as a 51st state. I've said that before, and I'm going to stick with it. And he pretty much admitted that during a press conference that he had after this meeting with Mark Carney.
They're doing great. We were being ripped off by every country in the world virtually, and now we're not being ripped off anymore. It's very simple, very, very simple. As far as calling him Governor Carney, no, I haven't done that yet, and maybe I won't. I did have a lot of fun with Trudeau.
Do you need any more proof than that? Mark Carney and Trump entering into this arrangement to really make it seem like Mark Carney was against Trump. Well, that was actually probably kind of fun for Trump. Trump was having fun with that. Trump was also having fun with Justin Trudeau, a man whom he hated.
I won't say this about Mark, but I didn't like his predecessor.
Now, of course, Trump does say that he likes Canadians and he has some connection to Canada. I'm not sure that he really does, but you got to remember, he's not our prime minister. He's the president of the United States, and his first allegiance is to the American people, which it should be.
We're going to be friends with Canada. Canada is a very special place to me. I know so many people that live in Canada. My parents had relatives that lived in Canada, my mother in particular. And no, I love Canada. I have a lot of respect for the Canadians.
Regardless of what he thinks of Canada and Canadians, his job as U.S. president is to make America strong. And if that hurts Canada, well, that's fine, because that's what he's supposed to do. Now, I think that he's a good president for the United States, but keep in mind, he doesn't work for Canada. And that's the key here. He wants to be top dog. And Carney's playing right along with that. He doesn't really care about Canada. He's playing right into Trump's hand. They're in cahoots, and they've known each other for years. But what else do we need to know about Carney? Is he going to be any different than Justin Trudeau? Well, it looks like he's not. He's actually taking a page from Justin Trudeau's playbook.
You mentioned earlier the Prime Minister has vowed to have gender parity, much like his predecessor, Justin Trudeau. Can he succeed?
It is definitely possible, and gender parity is one of those considerations that Carney will have to make in addition to regional representation. And frankly, the results of the election have made that a bit easier for Carney to do numbers-wise than it was for Trudeau, because now the Liberals have more Liberal MPs across the country. Specifically, I'm thinking about some of the gains they made in Western Canada and in the prairies, being able to have a few people to choose from to bring into cabinet to represent those regions of the country. Gender parity also something he will be able to uphold based on the breakdown of MPs that they have elected, of course. There are some high-profile names. Natalie Provost comes to mind as one, Caroline Durocher. These are new Liberal elected MPs that could find a way into cabinet. They are high-profile folks that Carney spent time with on the campaign trail.
So as the U.S. moves forward, Canada takes more steps back. The entire world is rejecting DEI, and yet Carney is bringing it back. He's bringing back all of these equity projects, not equality, but equity. He wants to bring gender equity into cabinet. He doesn't care that some of these MPs or some of these ministers may not be qualified. That doesn't matter to him. Optics is the only thing that matters to Carney, not quality. Just like this net zero agenda, he really doesn't care. So what have we gotten here? We've gotten 2, 3, 4 steps back while the United States is moving forward. And this plays right into Donald Trump's hand, because as Canada suffers, the United States gets stronger. But I actually think that Trump made a mistake here. He backed the wrong horse, because I believe that Pierre Poilievre would have helped both of our nations. Canada would have been stronger, and the United States would have been stronger. And I also believe that Pierre Poilievre made a mistake. He should have developed a relationship with Donald Trump, probably just after Donald Trump was elected. He might not have been able to make it down to Mar-a-Lago before Trudeau did, but as soon as Trudeau screwed things up down there, Pierre Poilievre would have been well advised to try to get a relationship started with Donald Trump. Because at that point, Pierre's numbers were really strong, and it did still look like he was going to be the next prime minister. This was before Donald Trump kind of forced Trudeau to resign. But I think that if Donald Trump got to know Pierre Poilievre, and he knew that Pierre would have been a really good prime minister and easy to work with, and that both countries would have prospered, I think he would have changed his tactics. I don't think he would have backed Mark Carney, and I don't even think he would have forced Justin Trudeau out. He probably would have stopped that 51st state rhetoric almost right away. But that's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you think. Put your comments down below. And while you're at it, please like this video, share with your friends, and on social media. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification so you never miss another video. Also, you'll find in the show notes of this video links to my website where you can sign up to take the Canadian Firearms Safety course if that's something you need. Finally, join me on Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Pacific time on both YouTube and Rumble for my live stream, where you're invited to join in on the conversation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.